Okay. That's good, that's good. Audio's good. And let's move that around. Okay, that's good. Everything is good, except my chat is half cut off and it's stuck on the top chat. Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Scavenger SV4. Now, a brief story. Last night I was not feeling great, and I was just browsing through my Steam wishlist, and I hovered over a few games and kind of undecided on what to play, and then I saw this. I put on my wish list a little while ago. My wish list is basically like a storage of any games that look kind of interesting. So things like Mother Gunship or Frostpunk. There's stuff on there that I will probably never actually want to play, but they just kind of sit there just in case I feel in the mood to actually play something like that. Like what I've got here, like Scavenger SV1. Now, as far as I can tell, it's a game probably made by one person, possibly two. I don't really know. There's a credits thing, so we can. Yeah, we go. Yeah, it's made by a small group of people, and I don't know what engine they use. It's possibly Unreal. The graphics are not anything special, but I'll show you what's going on. So choose your identity. Let's just go for a fairly, fairly sort of whatever's there, and we can change our paint colours. Let's go for green. Let's have a green ship with a green go faster stripe down the middle. That looks good. And then you just hit begin game. That doesn't really matter. None of this matters. I mean, it's like you don't actually have a player character, so you picking male or female, it doesn't matter. You're never actually going to see your character, and an awful lot of stuff that you're doing is going to be through the rover. Yes, there's a rover involved. So it's an interesting little blend. Just had to refresh that side. Right, it's an interesting little game. So, well, when we load in, I'll describe it in a bit more detail. Basically, you are around in the orbit of a planet that's heavily radioactive. So even now, I am being slowly irradiated, and movement is a little odd, but anyway. So that's the planet. And what you do is you go over to the Helm terminal and you hit Launch Rover. I'm also going to establish the communications link with the rover, and the rover departs. Now the rover departs from the cargo bay, which is over here, so we can actually see it leaving. There it is. There it goes. Now this side of the ship seems to be the one that you end up using more. So we've got our science lab here where we research new components for our rover, and to get money when we return to hopefully get a proper radiation flush. And we also have our garage over here. So so we've got our research terminal there. We've got our cargo our hangar, I guess, here with our cargo management terminal. And we've also got our garage over here. Garage is used to upgrade the rover in various different ways, or modify the components that you put on. Cargo management is to move stuff around, and then research is to research new components. Now that drone is landing. It should be landed by now. Let's jump in. And so it's now landing. I'm going to be turning off the microphone. I don't need it. I should have taken that off, really. But here we go. So, so you've got a power budget up here. Your reserve battery is all up there, and basically what you do is you drive around this planet and you collect items. So we've got an object nearby. Usually it's sort of new things that you haven't scanned, sort of like picking up artifacts, and I don't know quite where the artifact is going to be. There it is. So let's just pick up the artifact, and got some little manipulator arms that grab the object and they put it into your cargo bay. And you've only got so many slots here, and as time goes on you research components, you can put them onto your rover, and that's going to make your life better in some way. Now we're probably going to get another component over here. Object nearby. Just get close to it. Pick it up. Really, really nice, simple game. And when all's said and done, when you finally leave the planet, you get a score at the end. And so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do a run, I think, of this. Later on, so my first run, I did actually get a I shouldn't have gone. I've just lost my rover. That was my only rover. Well, we'll have to leave, and it's a bit of a failed run, that one. Okay, I don't know quite what happened there. The forest seemed to electrocute me, and because I can't really see at the moment, it's all in black and white at the moment. Surface rover was destroyed. No physical objects were retrieved from the planet, and I got some radiation damage. I haven't had this ending yet. My first one lasted quite a while, actually. Situation with the rover to be somewhat embarrassing. Yeah. Okay, that's new. Okay, let's Max E. Gibson. He sounds like an awful character. Let's have his to be red but mental. Yeah. All this is purely cosmetic, but yep, looks good. Let's go. This fool can attempt to not lose the rover quite so early on this time. So although I knew that you could lose rovers, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently this time, because I'm just going to pull off the microphone now. Go through this door. Yeah, the controls are a little bit strange. You can kind of go up and down. If you have 0G mode on, it's very weird, but let's just put the rover to the garage. Oh, and every so often your systems will malfunction, and they just need to be rebooted. Right, microphone. Let's take that off. And so we can send the microphone over there, and we can also launch that rover. We can watch it being launched. It's very graphically simple, and it's a bit of a shame. I think had they used a slightly different engine and maybe made everything a little bit smoother, it might be a little bit more appealing. That said, you know, it's a nice little it's something a little bit different. It's kind of along the same lines as Duskers, which is a fabulous little game. About basically breaking into ships for supplies. So yeah, I like it. No, for I think it was about 10 quid or something, which really isn't bad for something like this. Made by one guy, and you know, it's one of those examples of how to make your game. Basically, that you can just be a small independent developer, just trying to make a good little game. And I don't know how much replayability there is in this, but I've probably got my 10 quid's worth at this point, because it's just a nice little reasonably fun game, and the systems work. They could be refined a little bit more, but they do work fine. Alright, let's wander over to this. Let's try not to die this time. Yeah, knowing when you're actually nearby an object, you know, these are all sort of things that could be done a little better. Right, let's avoid sort of large forests this time. Looks like a crashed ship. Is it going to be towards the nose or the tail? That's the question. Apparently it is over here, but there we go. Excellent. 2 more samples and then I have to go back to the ship. You know, having sort of complexes to explore might have been quite nice. Certainly something that I would have done is probably split up the modules from the cargo bay and have the cargo bay be expandable. And then have, you know, 8 or so modules for other stuff. I don't know. And then we can recall. There you go. We found 4 things, and now it's returning to the ship. So I can show you the research mechanic, which is again reasonably simple. You just stick it in there, and then you hit research, and then it goes through 3 phases of research on each item, and gives you more information about it as time goes on. Yeah. Oh, and in here is the med bay. So you can, just while I'm waiting for that, let's activate the auto dock. It'll just quickly scan me and then tell me how irradiated I am. There is... I can apparently have treatment. I don't know how effective this is. That's a bit of a bug there. You can actually move out of there. Quite a lot of, you know, how they've done movement is a little strange, to be fair. I don't know how much of it is as a result of issues with the engine they've used. Certainly it feels like a sort of an older version of Unreal. Just because, like, the crosshair is kind of a giveaway, and just how things are rendered is very sort of unreally. Which isn't a word, but yeah. So, anyway, each thing is going to have 3 phases. Some things are going to be more difficult to research than other things. And usually it will tell you on it if it's going to be complicated for it to research the item. So here we know that this thing we've picked up is mechanical in nature, and then in phase 2 it's going to tell us more information about it, and then in phase 3 it will tell us what the item actually is. It's determined that this one is electronic in nature. What I'm hoping for is camera based technology. I know there is a still camera, but that one's mechanical, as is this one. Interesting. So we've got 3 mechanical items. Now while that's going on, we can just drop the rover again, which I'm going to do. I'm going to launch the rover. If you've got any items on it that requires fuel, it will replenish the fuel when it comes up to up into its hangar. And you can strip all of the modules out of the rover if you wanted to. Oh, we've got another thing. Oh, we've got some kind of a map system. Interesting. And this one is a launcher of some description. So it's a mechanical launcher. Some kind of projectile weapon. Probably, you know, like a missile launcher, something like that. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know if it's going to be anything that we can really use, but, you know, we'll see. I've seen a few different things. Hold on. I've just launched this, so I'm not completely certain where. There we go. We're coming down. Yeah, it's a rocket launcher. While that's just landing, I can quickly nip over and see what the rocket launcher is specifically. Oh, here we go. Appears to be implement unfamiliar technologies. Yeah, it's a rocket launcher. Not hugely useful at the moment, but you know, I'll pull it out the. I'll pull it out into the storage module for now. Yeah, so I've seen things like flamethrowers, RTG, a still camera, which I would quite like to get hold of for this drone. And you can tell things to, yeah, so if I wanted to see that, I can basically pick different screens for to display different information. So you can have a display just constantly showing you the camera, and then you can take photos of the world, which I think is quite nice. I do like the visual impairment that you have. You know, it's almost a good reason for you to keep exploring, just on the basis that you might get something that makes everything worthwhile. Ooh, okay, so I've got some kind of manipulators, which might be better than the ones that we have. I don't know. You can also rename everything if you wanted to. Oh god, video camera up to there. Alright, let's see what else there is out here. We'll tell you about dangerous terrain that's sort of coming up, which all this is quite rocky. Now the atmosphere outside is quite sandy, from what I could see from the camera. But you know, it's another one of those areas in which, you know, slightly sort of sharper graphics would have been quite nice to have, on the basis that if you've got a ruin and you take a photo of the ruin, you should be able to get more detail out of it than this sort of grainy camera, but you don't really. It doesn't really show anything new or interesting. I mean, this is some kind of a cannon, it looks like. Alright, one more sample and then we can nip back. Okay, or if we encounter an enemy, then I'm going to be running away, because this vessel isn't really designed for it yet. You know, that's the sort of time when you deal with, you know, armor plating and all that sort of thing. But at the moment, our drone is very sort of low level. Go things. Excellent. Exit link. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I want to back out so it can just recall. Excellent. What else have we done? Right, so there's a surface map. We've got a manipulators. So it functions as manipulator arms, and it's got a heatsink on it as well, which might be quite useful, especially if you've got something like a light flamer. We probably won't be using the light flamer at the moment, but the manipulators might be quite useful, as might the surface map, and that one can just go into my storage for now. So we'll get the surface map installed and and exchange the manipulators over once it's stocked. Right, bulk unload the rover. So that's just putting it all into that racking, which is quite nice. You can move it all over to the science bay. And then we can do rover to garage. Right, so manipulator arms need to be pulled out and the new manipulators put in. Yeah, so that actually they use more power. But they just use a base power. So yeah, I'll definitely be taking that. As for this one, that should be alright. Launch rover. And then I can have a quick look to see what the research is doing. Ooh, we've got an archaeological one. Ooh, it's not just archaeology, it's xenoarchaeology. Nice. Study of alien species. We've also got a sensor and something that's optical. Usually optical stuff is lasers. That is interesting, and that's doing phase 3 tech. Right, okay, so surface map. Interesting. So that's different to the survey map. This is just a surface map, so it's not going to uncover new stuff, but it is going to show me some interesting locations that are marked. That said, I've got 4 things here that I need to gather research wise. God, there, that's quick. That's well worth doing. It's a little bit more expensive power wise, but hey, I'll take it. Okay, right, let's turn off the compass because that's quite expensive. Turn off the surface map. I'm tempted to just pull the compass out, to be honest. And I'll definitely pull the surface map out. Ooh, a solar collector. That would be a good upgrade to the aux generator because that uses fuel. What's that one? These manipulators are definitely faster though. Okay, so that's those three got. I think I got that one. Well, seismic mic, interesting. And telescopic camera, ooh. That might be useful. Let's have a look at what those were. So seismic mic. So detecting and approximately locating ground tremors in the vicinity of the rover as long as the rover remains stationary. Okay. Telescopic camera. Okay, it's a video camera in the visible light spectrum. Produces a telephoto effect with a remarkably narrow field of view. It's efficient and it consumes a small amount of electrical power. Interesting. The downside there might be the narrow field of view, but I'll still put it on and see what happens. I can even just test that in the bay, really. Solar collector. A large quantity of electrical power. Yeah, totally take that one. As well as, what's this one? Oh, this is just an archaeological device. Okay. Right. Park unload the rover. Right, so manipulator arms. Right, survey map is going back in. That one's going into there. Solar collector's going in. Telescopic camera is going in. And seismic mic is not for the moment. And then the rest can go into there. Send the rover to the garage and let's get this researched. Research all. Right. So that's on phase 2 already because it's or a fair way down phase 1 as it kind of it thinks it knows what it might be. Hold on. Sorry, wires, wheels and cookies don't mix. Everything just goes a little bit tangled. Right, so that's doing I've got another launcher by the looks of things. Oh well. Let's have a look at the new stuff then. So, instead of the video camera, pull that one out and put the telescopic camera in. Yes, and we turn that on. And instead of the auxiliary generator, we put in the solar generator. Yep. So, or solar collector. And instead of the surface map, we put in the survey map. Yep. We'll turn that on. I'll leave that turned off for now. Right. And then if I go into here, okay, it is quite a narrow field of view. I'm going to launch it and I think we'll go from there. This is probably its downside, is that it is a quite a narrow field of view, but on the other hand I can see in colour without the distortion. So I don't know. Well, we'll see what it's like. I think that's all we can do is just kind of see what it's like, and there might be a better upgrade for it elsewhere. So we've got an EM field thing, power storage thing, and an unknown thing. Interesting. Alright, let's see what this planet looks like in colour, shall we? Hopefully it's in colour. I've still got all of the distortion that I had before, and now it's far worse to try and control. Yeah, this isn't worth... recall that. Oh, I've got a mortar. And how's my radiation doing? I'm actually considering ending this run here. Be a short stream tonight. Might be an idea. I think I've probably shown quite a bit of what this game is about. I would quite like to see what that is. So we'll keep going until that's done, I think. To see what that is, and then I'll probably end for the night. I've got a fair amount of loot from this place after all. Sample is either ooh. We just ended up with an alien body on board. Remains of biological specimen, sealed within a tough manufactured flexible liner. Specimen deceased. Time and death on the order of 10,000 years ago. Sample is severely desiccated. Purpose unknown. Conjectures medical tissue sample. Mummification ritual or dried food stuff. Okay. Well, I am going to do that. And then I'm going to exit the link, exit orbit, yes. And we're going to leave this planet. With an intact rover this time. Yeah. There are enemies on the planet as well. It's not just, you know, electroshock plants, but... so, modest exploration of the planet's surface. Documenting several interesting features of the lifeless craggy maze he discovered at the landing site. Looted 11 derelicts and recovered 12 alien artifacts from the surface. Most valuable of the items recovered was a seismic mic valued at 5,300 credits. So I collected a total of 37,930 credits. Small but significant dose of hard radiation. Opened a research institute on the asteroid base. The top researchers and scientists of the colonised worlds are welcome to study the alien technology there for a price. The access fee goes up as the institute fills, and the bidding war between nations and corporations for the last few slots become quite heated. Max E. Gibson enjoys a respectable cut of the credits, handsome income for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I finally got a good ending. Excellent. Yeah. 37,279 points, or credits, or whatever. So yeah, that's been Scavenger SV1. There's an awful lot more to the game. Well, not really to the game, but I think I've shown you what the game is and how it sort of progresses. And there are some, as I said, there are some alien sort of robotic enemies that pop up eventually. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the game. So yeah, so that's been Scavenger SV1. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I will see you on, God, when's the next one? Sunday. Yeah, Sunday evening should be the next one. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you, oh God, I've got to do the thing, haven't I? I will see you next time.